Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So it's such a pleasure that we are doing effectively Bhakti Shastri course. And this is what used to happen ages ago in India. I think some of the sects, they still do it, but the whole course of Bhakti Shastri goes along, and there is a set syllabus, and after that you're called Shastri. So of course what happened that just like Brahmin, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishyas, these used to be the work, the actions we used to do rather than the caste we were born in. Similarly, what happened that now Shastris, so somebody became Shastri, and then the ancestors were Shastri as well, hopefully. But the followers, the children, they, even though they didn't do any studies, they were also called Shastris. So Shastri has become a caste now, a surname now. But there was a time when Divedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, Shastris, these were the upadhis which were given. So in Gaudiya Math, in ISKCON, so Gaudiya Math is much bigger, and ISKCON is just a small part of it. There are many other god brothers of Srila Prabhupada ji who still are, well, who they are not there, but the foundation they put together, they are still there. So they are part of Gaudiya Math, but they are not ISKCON, even though they support, of course, we all support being Vaishnav. We all support each other. Not only Vaishnav, but all other Sampradayas as well. So it's such a nice extended family. But Srila Prabhupada ji put together Bhakti Shastri course, even though after completing nobody calls you Shastri, which wasn't the idea anyways. The idea was to gain the knowledge, to do the studies systematically. If you think about it, the way we are doing it, we discuss a lot of things. So there are many analogies given, and from personal experiences we share. It goes on YouTube, and many people from YouTube, they come together, and sometimes they inquire or they like to share what they have. And of course, time doesn't match for everyone, but as and when people love to join, it's a pleasure. And the kids sessions, we were discussing with Anil Prabhuji, we are going to, I think from next Sunday, we are going to start it. So we will send the invite there. And hopefully with this as well, we were chatting with other friends. But it was such a pleasure that Srila Prabhupada put together, and feel blessed to be part of it. So thank you so much for giving your time every Saturday, 9:30 to 10:30. And it's all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Let's take the blessings from the teachers and the deities, from the acharyas, and feel free to join with me in Mangala Charan. It's such an auspicious, the chain of prayers we usually do whenever we start something, even at home. The very first thing, the prayers we do in the morning and evening, the very first thing is Mangala Charan. And it's so beautiful if we know the meaning of it. Otherwise, and it's not only for the gurus if we are initiated in ISKCON, it's for your guru. And it's not only the spiritual guru, even the material gurus, as long as they have given you something with without any hidden agenda, with a pure motive. All the teachers in the world, when they give something to the students, they all belong. They all, I think, they should get the respect. And this is a beauty of Vedantic studies, that it's not only for spiritual, and it's a self-respect, and it's for the respect for everyone who belongs to that category. So, Om. अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
Shri
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले
Bhutale
स्वयं रूपः कदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथवितं तं
Tam Sajivam
साद्वैतं
Advaitam
सहावितं परिजनसहितं
Parijanitam
कृष्णचैतन्यदेव
Chaitanya Devam
श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च
Shamsa
हे कृष्णा
He
करुणा
Krishna
सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते ताप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी
Vari
वृषभानुसुते देवी
Pranamami
प्रणमामि
Karu
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो
Shri
विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने
Swami
नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
Prajani
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य
Shatini
जय श्री
Shri
कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
Govinda
हरे
Hare Krishna Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna
कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे
Hare
हरे राम
Hare
हरे राम
Rama
राम राम हरे हरे।
Hare
शिल प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai
श्री देव की जय, जय
Hare
जय श्री राधे श्याम। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। And I would like to welcome you to our Shri Īśopaniṣad sessions. And very quickly, we have been doing revision since start. Every time we start, we do the revision just have a bird's eye view where we started and where exactly we are. So there are 18 mantras. We are on 12th mantra, and there are themes. So the very first theme of Shri Ishavasim principle, and then when we go forward, we realize that there is a theme of from 4 to 8, where it mentions about the significance of understanding spiritual vision, that how material vision is restricted. And similar concept is there in most of the religions, if you think about. Very similar to this, that whatever we have with own knowledge, we won't able to understand. Hence, we have the holy book. And of course, different religions, they might have different holy books, but the foundational message is that we need the message from the holy book. Why? Because we won't able to understand it ourselves from our material vision. So we need the spiritual vision from the way we say from Vedanta, from Vedic culture, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So Guru, it could be one, could be many. So there are Siksha Gurus, which could be many. There is a Diksha Guru who has to be one. And then we have Sadhu, which is the culmination of all the devotees around us. When we help each other, we all work as Sadhu. And that's why we call it Sadhu Sangha. So we invite devotees at our place for Sadhu Sangha. And that really helps us. That really, really helps us for our spiritual growth. And then we have the Shastras. So we understand Shastras with the help of Guru and Sadhu. So Guru and Sadhu, how to understand that they are pure sadhus, whether it's a bona fide guru, as long as they stick to the message given by the Lord in the Shastras. As soon as they get deviated, in Bhagavatam, there's a verse which says that a shishya, a disciple, can actually abandon a guru. So if we think we are stuck with a guru, and if we want to leave the guru, we can leave. The Shastras give us the permission to do it. However, the requirement for that is that we need to understand that we have to identify the reason we are leaving is not because we got inspired by someone else, we were motivated by someone else, but because the guru is not a bona fide guru. What does that mean is that guru is not giving us the message of the Shastras anymore. Guru is giving some messages which have some underlying hidden agenda, trying to get to personal motives or motive for an organization, which is not bona fide. And sometimes some gurus, they come up and they just start their own. They don't have, it's like somebody will say, I'm a teacher. And somebody will say, well, where did you get your qualification? Well, how did you become teacher? I say, well, nothing. I don't have any qualification. I just sat down in the tree and I just realized it, and I'm going to share it all. And of course, the person might have learned a lot of things from here and there, but that person cannot be qualified as a teacher. And this is just a teacher. A guru is much bigger than teacher. So that's what we say, the guru has to follow a parampara, because it's not only just guru, it's the sadhu sangha. So we got to see what's the sadhu sangha of the guru as well. And hence, the gurus we have in ISKCON, and there could be many other organizations as well. Of course, personal experience in ISKCON, we, even on YouTube's and personally, when you get the time, you're so blessed, you're lucky to spend some time with your guru or with your guru, God brothers of your gurus, then you can understand that what is the mentality of these devotees. They don't have anything else going in their life. There's only one motive, to follow what Krishna says in the Shastras and to spend that in the world. Nothing they want in return. The only thing is that, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji said that every city and town in the world should have the name of the Lord. That's it. And why? Why should? Because when they will do it, they understand, they have their spiritual vision, they will live with harmony. That's it. Of course, we will get indirect benefit, because if the world is peaceful, we live in that peaceful world, we will be peaceful as well. So we get the indirect benefit, but that's not the motive. Motive is to give that Krishna prema to everyone else. That because of that, we are so happy. But you should be happy as well. So that's the whole motive. So whenever we discuss something with someone, so for example, yesterday a friend called us, we went there, another friend was there, so there were 3 families together. And of course, all of us have children, all live here in Sutton. So there's schools in Sutton. So so somebody goes in Wilson, somebody goes in Sutton Grammar, and just discuss about the education. And then didn't take long to realize that doesn't really matter how great the education in these great schools are, until unless we have the spiritual foundation. Then this education itself will give you the material success, but that material success could go down anytime. And we have seen this happen. It's a known fact. Somebody who got a Nobel Prize committed crime and then went to jail. And somebody who got the Nobel Prize, probably the most glorified award on the planet. And you will think of that person got to be wise to get that, but that person is wise only in that field, right? The foundation, which gives you the moral values, that might not be there in the person. And we have seen many examples in the history as well. Maybe we can take the example of Hitler, whom many people considered great. And then from Greece, we have Alexander the Great. The name itself says he was great. Of course, there were many people, and still a lot of people consider him great, considering in the short span of his lifetime what he has achieved. But if you think about it, what he achieved was all material. Hence, he said, keep my hands out just to give the message to the world that the whole life I was running up after these material things, we can't, I'm unable to take anything. And if you think about it, oh, well, that was Alexander the Great. But to a great extent, isn't it our life as well? So yesterday when I spoke to a friend and I said, well, why don't you come around? We have the sessions and you always have so much to share. Why don't you come to our sessions tomorrow morning, 9:30? These sessions. And he'd been there before. And he said, oh, yeah, I don't get the time. And I said, well, do you have anything tomorrow morning, 9:30 to 10:30? And he thought about it. He said, not really. Then why we can't come in? Of course, there is a material Maya working, like what Krishna said, Arjuna asked, that just looks like something external is forcing us. And we all face it, right? We know we should wake up early in the morning. We know we should do yoga or some kind of exercises. We know for mental peace, we should do chanting. We should take the name of the Lord. But somehow something comes up which takes higher priority. And most of the time, spirituality goes lower priority and the material things, they become higher priority because we are missing the spiritual vision. Hence, we should always keep a slot, maybe 5 minutes in a day if we can find that. And if we want, we can find it. Somebody said that there was actually a TED talk on it. Now, the person said that if we are not doing something and we give the excuse that we don't have a time for it, the only one reason is that we can't do it. We are unable to do so far. Only one reason, because that we haven't made that thing as a priority yet. And we have discussed this in past as well, that if the whole busy day, somebody will say, could you give us 5 minutes, 10 minutes? And sometimes being parents, we are so busy with work, we don't have time for our kids, right? And the kids ask for the time and we say, a bit later. And then before we realize, a couple of hours gone and that's it. And then we come up and we think, and the kids say, it's okay, I don't need your help anymore. And we think, oh, why we couldn't do it then? But if we leave our children and giving time to our work or anything else, but at that time, if the roof will start leaking, if the earthquake will come, something goes wrong, that thing will become higher priority and we will leave work. And this has happened. This has happened. During COVID, many people shared such great realizations. Of course, a lot of people working from home made good use of it. And on the other hand, there were some people who just can't go back to the work because they said, we can't work. Many people got divorced. Divorces, the reason is, I was reading this, there was an article which said, I think our company also shared that article, or somebody shared internally, saying that people are getting divorces because now husband and wife got more time together at home and they can't bear each other. I thought, Krishna, we always look forward to have time with family members. When we got time, we could not bear with each other. Something is wrong. So definitely our kids, they will do materially well, but spiritually it's very important that we do it. Not only for us and for the people, for the friends around us as well, because they're all going to affect us directly or indirectly. And that's what the spiritual vision is. But now, so then we moved on to right and wrong. Vidya, what we should not do, and we discussed they go hand in hand. So this is not to criticize anyone, because we all been there and we all are there. We dip in and out. So we all are there together. It's not that one is more purified than others. In spirituality, the comparison is not with others. Of course, we can see others and get inspired, but the comparison is with our own previous version. Like what I could do yesterday. Oh, yesterday I only do one mala. Today, can I try one mala again? And if one mala is going good, can I do other one as well? Can I do the second? And let's see how it goes. If you can't do it, it's okay. But if we can, of course, we see the benefits as well. We do see the benefits. And I can say by personal experience, the kids, when we request them to do it, and when they do it, and you could see they are so calm and composed after doing mala. And it's a kind of meditation, and it's a open secrets these days that any sort of meditation helps. So if we can, of course, kids they learn by example. If we do with as a family, that's even great. Great. In the morning, if the time is rushed, evening before we sit down, amazing. Before we sit down to eat together, not to watch, to eat together anywhere. And before that, if we do either the chanting or the prayers together, it's such a lovely experience indeed. And if you haven't tried it already, then give it a go. If you have tried it, do inspire others to go for it. And I can't tell you how many people will be thankful to you. So this is right and wrong. Vidya, then the upasana. And this is the part which we are doing now. So we will go very quickly. Asambhuti and Sambhuti, we will discuss that. And this is the theme number 12, 13, and 14. Very similar to what we did before, which was 9, 10, and 11. That how one is better than others, and what kind of Sambhuti could be. It could be, it could take us to greater darkness, the word it says here. And this word darkness, if you see the Mangla Charan we do, it says Om Agyana, Om Agyana, Trimandasya, Agyana. In Upanishad, the essence, the Vedanta, if you say this one word could give it, darkness. What is Maya? And almost every religion will say that this world is temporary. This world, in some sense, is unreal. And this is not for us. So these three things, almost every religion will say that this world is unreal in some sort of sense. This is temporary. Of course, we all know it's temporary. There was a time we were not there. There will be a time we will not be there. So it's a temporary. It's unreal. Unreal in a sense that there was a discussion where we say that it's so interesting. Of course, it's a spirituality comes under philosophy. And in philosophy, the way we put things, or the philosophers, the way philosophers put things, it's so radical. And it makes us think that, wow. For example, have you realized that we have never seen our real face? And of course, you might say, well, no. This morning when I woke up, I saw my face in the mirror. But if you know, and I think most of us could think from that angle, that what we see in the mirror is actually the reflection. It's not the real face. So in one sense, we can say that what we see is not real. It's unreal. It's a reflection. If something is wrong in the mirror, then the face will look bad. Even though the face is not bad, but the mirror is bad. So in that sense, many people will consider that this world is unreal. And then the whole philosophy, the Buddhism, there are four main groups, and they, what we call school of thoughts in Indian Vedic culture, there are many school of thoughts. And in Buddhism, so there are like 12 or 15 altogether, and 4 belong to Buddhism, and very thin line between them. But if we understand that, we understand the darkness bit mentioned here and in previous 3 verses, which is so important. So someone will say that we don't see things, or we don't see the real things, we only see the reflections. Someone says we don't even see the reflections, we just see what the mind shows us. And that's also true. Let's say if 4 people are sitting together and looking at the same picture, and when you will ask, what did you see? Like sometimes the quizzes come and they say, oh, could you find 4 faces in it or 10 faces in it? Somebody might see all the faces, somebody might only see 1 or 2 faces. Now, if the faces are there, why some can see, some cannot see? And if some can see different than others, can we say that the world is how we perceive it? Somebody will say, well, somebody's mind is like that. Okay, so how we see the world is dependent on the mind we have. And of course, we can develop mind based on our culture. We can understand things better. Like couple of years back, I borrowed a book from the library, and Lord Buddha's picture was there at the bottom. It says Krishna. Lord Buddha's picture was there. By the bottom, it says it's Lord Krishna. Oh, wow, something is wrong. But maybe because my background is such that I know how Lord Krishna looks, or what's the differentiation between Lord Buddha and Lord Krishna, I could easily identify that. But maybe others won't if they are not from that culture. So it also depends what's our background and culture is. So in that sense, we say the world is unreal. World is how we perceive it. The world is how it's been presented to us. So if we think about it, it's very confusing. The world we live in is temporary. World is unreal. And we will not able to perceive this world as it is in reality ever. However, now the word darkness comes in. It says it's because we all are in darkness. Hare Krishna. Ajayji had to go, but I hope he will come back. Now, just to mention that we will break. So Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think maybe in 5 minutes we will break down, and we will have to join back again. So my apologies for that. But just because we have shifted the Zoom sessions, because we had another Zoom sessions from Prabhuji. So we will do that. But think about it. The darkness, it says that now Mataji, of course, been traveling, so could not attend at the moment. But Mataji had asked a great question. And to a great extent, all our Upanishads are there to answer that one single question. That if we are a spiritual soul and this body is material, how do they both come together? How do they, what point they come together? How does a spiritual soul get engrossed, entangled, or associated with this material body? Because we know material body is temporary and we know it's going to go, but spiritual soul is permanent, it's eternal, and that's what we are. So how do they come together? And the answer is that they never come together. It's just an illusion. This is what Upanishad says, and this is what of course, Shri Īśopaniṣad. This Upanishad, these verses, they say darkness. It's just that somebody is in the darkness. It actually never happened, but because we are in darkness, we are eluded, we are bewildered. Otherwise, it has never happened. Upanishads, they give, many other Upanishads, they give the example of snake and rope. So there is a rope in the darkness, very light, dim light, and we got the illusion that snake, that rope is a snake. Now that rope, and somebody might say, oh, right, okay, the light will come. We are out of darkness. We will say, oh, right, okay, I can see that snake is actually a rope. And somebody will say, so when did that rope became snake or snake became rope? Never. It actually never happened. It's just the illusion. And what happens at the time of enlightenment? This is actually what happens. All the darkness forever goes away. We are, and that's the reason Lord Buddha said, I'm awake. I'm awake means I was actually in a dream. I was actually in a darkness. Now I'm awake. I can see things as they are, not reflected, nor perverted, not what mind proposes or how the material world put things together for us. No, how things really are, I can see. Now, that's why the Shastra Chakshu are so important. The vision of spiritual scriptures are so important. And then going forward, so those who are engaged in the worship of demigods, we have seen that, and we will finish that off. And then there is still more do worship of impersonal absolute. And we will see that these are the two part we mention here. Andam dama bhavishyanti. Of course, we are taking the verses, the guidance from Prabhuji. So main thing here is the demigods and rishis. A lot of people, they like the Tatre Muni. The Tatre Muni was Muni, as we say, a rishi. But many people consider them as the incarnation as well, which of course he was, and pray to them. He was not a demigod, so many people pray to rishis and munis as well, for good reasons. Now, the only reason we said number 12, 13, and 14, we will see. We are number 12, where we see asamruti is when we go to demigods for material gains. And some people, those who are spiritual seekers, they might go to impersonal Brahman realization, which is spiritual. So it's what do we really want? And this is what we have already done it. We have seen the example of a prince who has gone away. Some other landlord is like when people consider them as a semi-god. And then when the prince comes back to the minister of the kingdom, this is like when we pray to demigods or demigods with small g, considered as the minister, because demigods, they get the power from the Lord. And many examples are there. So Indra has said it, Surya Bhagwan has said it. Of course, we call them as Bhagwan as well, but there is only one Bhagwan, which is Krishna, which Brahmaji clarifies in Brahm Samhita. That and of course, Bhagavatam say Krishna's Bhagwan Swayam. So in Canto 2, Chapter 3, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 12 cantos, and every canto has many chapters. In Canto 2, Chapter 3, is the title is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And there are 42 incarnations of Lord Krishna have been given, and it's mentioned one by one in the verses. And right at the end, I think it's 1:3:11, where it says, I think, I'm not sure, but it says Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That rest are the incarnation of Krishna, but Krishna is the Bhagavan himself. And of course, Adi Purusha is beautiful prayers by Brahmaji in Brahm Samhita. So demigods are ministers who get the power from Krishna, but when the minister works for king straight, somebody prays for Krishna, but still the motive is wealth. And people do it, and that's okay, that's fair. That's fair enough if we do it. So Ajay ji, sorry, when you were away, I said that because we are using a different Zoom session today, we will have to leave very shortly. I will announce maybe 30 seconds later, and if you can join back, so we will resume the session.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this is where it says that when people pray to Krishna, if still for material wealth, that's actually a bit better. praying to someone else. It's like we don't, the example of tree, we don't know whether the roots are better, or we don't have the trust, we don't have the faith, whether the roots are better or the fruits are better. We give water everywhere and the roots get it. And we know roots are the only part of the plant or the trees which are going to get nourishment from the water, or we're going to get them. So this is what we should remember, that if we pray, if the prince, rather than working for king, realize and accept king as the father, and then start working, then that work is not work. That work is like a responsibility and duty. And this is what devotees do with Krishna. So the relationship between devotee and Krishna is because of that love. Then everything which belongs to Krishna belongs to the devotee. Everything belongs to king, belongs to prince. Prince might be working even more. Prince might work even more harder, but now that is kind of responsibility, the sheer love. And that's called Shuddha Bhakti. Materialism, Karma Kanda, when we do things here and there. Sakama Bhakti, when we do Bhakti of Krishna with hidden agenda. And then Shuddha Bhakti, it's only the Hare Krishna. So this is what we have seen, and we understand the difference between different levels of bhakti. We have seen the example of Vallabhacharya, I think, last time, who was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, a pure devotee of Lord Shiva. Nothing else he wanted. He just wanted to pray. But Lord Shiva got so happy, he came around and he gave the bhakti of Srinathji. And of course, then great, well, Anil Prabhuji would know a lot about the bhakti of Srinathji and Vallabhacharya. He's such a great devotee. The whole sampradaya came up. And Keshav Kashmiri. Keshav Kashmiri is an example, and maybe this is what we were discussing last time, that Keshav Kashmiri, this pastime comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Keshav Kashmiri is a renowned scholar, and he used to go from one place to another asking for debate. And those days, debates used to happen in Vedic culture, sakshatkar. So what we used to call interviews. So face-to-face, people will sit and they will ask questions from each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji was actually very young, very, very young. His name was Nimai Pandit. He was famously, because he was a Sanskrit scholar. And Keshav Kashmiri came to him, and Keshav Kashmiri said, okay, I've heard about you. We're going to have a bit of conversation. Then that was next to Gangaji, and in Mayapur. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji said that it's such a pleasure to have you. He was so humble. He said, such a pleasure to meet you. How about if you recite something for Mother Ganges, Mother Ganga? And then Keshav Kashmiri was so good, he put together instantaneously so many verses in the glories of Ganga. Beautiful verses, and those verses are still available. And so this happened roughly 450 years back. So the verses are recorded. They are still there, and not audio, of course, in the scriptures. And then everybody praised him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji praised him as well. And then he said, so what do you think? And he was full of, so he was very proud. A lot of arrogance was there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji was so humble, and he said that, yes, it was great. And thank you so much. It was such a beautiful glory of Mother Ganga. But I just want to tell you, if you don't mind, because you asked, that those Sanskrit verses, there were some mistakes there, and there were some mistakes there. And the way you use these two, grammatically, it's wrong. So instead of this, you should have used that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji gave the whole list of such a, what we call trutis, errors, mistakes. And Keshav Kashmiri, the way we say, his face fell down. He was so despondent. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji said, it's okay, it happens. How about you think about it and we meet tomorrow? Here, same place. So he couldn't say a word. He went back. And he was actually, Keshav Kashmiri was renowned that he got a boon from Mother Saraswati direct. So hence, because Saraswati is for the education, hence his education is so great. And when he came home, he started praying to Mother Saraswati. Mother Saraswati, you said you will never leave me and I will win over everyone in this world. Then how come this young boy able to find errors in me? And he was thinking that, and he was crying. And during that phase, he felt sleep. And in his sleep, Mother Saraswati came. And Mother Saraswati said, I actually didn't leave you. I was there. And when I told you that you will win over everyone on this, in this world, on this planet, then that boon is still there. But this person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, is not from this world. He is Krishna himself. So this is a record where Keshav Kashmiri comes back next day, because of course what he said, that Mother Saraswati came in my dream and she said that, so I accept you as the Lord. And this happened a lot of times in Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji's life, where people had different realizations, him being the incarnation of Krishna himself. So Mother Saraswati actually also said it, that he's the owner of my guru. So Brahmaji, I pray to Brahmaji and Brahmaji prays to Krishna. So of course you need to understand that he's not somebody you could defeat except him. And the next day he went back and straight away Danvat pranams and he accepted him. And then Keshav Kashmiri was a great scholar. And then he put together his own realizations, and in which he mentioned about Chaitanya. Of course, in Chaitanya Charitamrita we have a Chaitanya Chaitanya Bhagavatam, we have the verses. A lot of places the mention has been there. So we need to understand that this is another example when people are there in between. There are many other examples of this is Mataji, which is so Durga Ma. So somebody prayed to Durga Ma. Flowers are there, and this is an example of Durga Das. So Durga Das might be very famous name in India, but there is in the scripture there is a mention of a Durga Das because it says Durga Das. So there were two brothers, elder brother, younger brother. Elder brother was called Durga Das just because he was such a great devotee of Durga Ji, and he used to celebrate so much, and he was very wealthy, so with all opulence he used to do the prayers, and he had a garden, and from the garden he used to give the flowers to Durga Ji. And then he had a younger brother who was a Vaishnav, and he used to pray to Vishnu Bhagwan. So one day what happened that he saw some flowers in his elder brother's garden, and he wanted to offer to Vishnu Bhagwan. And then he went to his brother and he said, well, you got so beautiful flowers. May I take some flowers? And his brother Durga Das, he said, no, they all are for Durga Ji. I can't give you for Vishnu. And then he said, okay, no worries. While he was going back through the garden, he saw one of those gardens, which was probably the best flower. And he said, I have heard that we can also do Mansik Puja. So, hey Vishnu, I can't take this flower to offer you because my brother wants to offer it to Durga ji, but mentally I would like to offer this to you. And as he says, so Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Ona Bhakti Prachanti. With bhakti, with devotion, if somebody offers it, I accept it. And this is exactly what happened. So when Durga Das went to the garden and he saw this is the most beautiful today, let's offer this to Durga ji. The mention is that Durga ji, as soon as the flower was offered, Durga Devi appeared. And then Durga Das was in ecstasy. He said, wow, amazing. Thank you for giving darshan. But I would like to know what I have done today that I've been worshipping you for so many years. What I have done today that made you appear and give the darshan. And then she said, well, so far you were offering me direct, but this time today you have offered me the offering of Lord Vishnu. And so I'm Durga. My husband is Lord Shiva, who prays to Vishnu. So we all offer to Vishnu. What you offer to Vishnu, you offer it to me. So that was a Mahaprasad for me. That what you have offered there, that become prasad, and that prasad you offered to me. Hence, today I accept this Mahaprasad. And then, so there are many more examples where demigods they appeared, and some of the other references from Bhagavad Gita as well. So this is one of those where it says, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender on to demigods. So so simple. I mean, as straight as it says, prapadyante nya devataha. So those whose intelligence has been stolen, they pray to demigods. They surrender to demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. So Rajasic, Tamasic, and of course Sattvic. But they all come under Karma Kanda according to rules and regulations. So Tamha, Niyam. So Niyam is rule. So based on the rules, somebody pray. And this is what we need to understand, that Karma Kanda, they're not bad as well as in when we need to do it. So another Prabhuji put together very nicely. He said, and that's in person, he said, well, we pray to everyone, all demigods. We pray, we do the puja. But when it comes to do the bhakti, we only do for the Supreme Personality. It's like we take care of everything in the tree, the branches, the flowers. But when we need to give the water, we will always go to the roots. And this is another one. Yo yama tamuna bhakta. It's like I am in everyone's heart as super soul, and there are many places in Bhagavad Gita Krishna has said it. As soon as one desire to worship some demigod, right? Shraddha. So tasya. So as soon as the Shraddha comes, tasya, like I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So this is what Krishna is saying himself. That of course, if the prince will say, I want to work for a demigod, I want to work for a minister, king said, okay, you work for minister. I will send you the minister to work for. So minister could take better care of yourselves. And once you will realize that minister is working for me, you will come directly to me. So this is the part of demigods, and there are many more examples. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular god and obtains his desires, but in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So these are verses directly from Bhagavad Gita, 721 and 722, we can see. There are many more, and I'm checking the time. But endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but in actuality, these benefits are given by me. We should always be careful what it says. And te tam bhakta sarvam lokam vishalam. And there's another one, I don't know if I have added that, which says the one who worship to the Pitra goes to the Pitra lok, the one who worship to demigods goes to the demigod, the one who worship to the ghosts. Remember, according to the nature, it says, so Rajsik, Tamsik, and Satvik, the person goes there, and the person who worship me comes to my dham. So when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sensual pleasure and the results of their pious activities, like when people would love to go to the heavens, they return to this mortal planet again. Hence we say that the devotees don't want to go to the heaven, because they know heaven is like holiday. Now, of course, we go on holidays and we come back. We have to work again. We work, we save money, we go on holiday, we come back, we save money, and then we keep doing it in the material world. When we come to spiritual, we know we don't want to repeat that vicious circle again. Reason being, imagine if somebody working as a contractor, if the person has to leave the job and go on holiday, the person will always be anxious whether I will get the good job back again or not. Of course, we are in permanent roles. We are happy. We know the permanent role is there. We have a limited holiday to maintain. We go and we come back. Right? But when we leave this material body, it's like leaving the contract job, because we don't know whether the next life we will get good enough or not, whether we will get sadhu sangha or not, whether we will get the guru's guidance or not, whether we get the true understanding of shastras or not. We could be in some other religion where it might not be as helpful as this. So that's why we need to make such a great endeavor to make this life so useful, not only for us, but for the people around us. Because remember, it's a sadhu sangha we need to create together. Those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of 3 Vedas achieve only repeated birth. And so it says, so you follow the principle of Vedas, because a karma kanda is part of Vedas. But still, what will that give? That give us repeated birth and death. So very important. And there's so many other verses as well. There are verses in Bhagavatam also. And we will see. And so this will very nicely wrap up the demigod side of this mantra, mantra 12. But please read it through if you can. Shri Īśopaniṣad mantra 12 on Veda base. And then we will have more discussions next time through. And it's time now. So thank you so much for your presence today. Saturday, lovely morning. There could be many things to do, but you make your time available for the spiritual Auckland studies, which gives such a pleasure to the Lord. Thank you so much. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank